This message did not enter your life randomly, out of endless videos, endless noise, endless distractions fighting for your attention every second. You stopped here. And before your mind tries to call that coincidence, understand something carefully. There are moments when destiny moves quietly, moments where something greater than logic begins arranging events behind the scenes long before you notice it happening. This is one of those moments. You were guided here because something around your life is changing right now, not next year, not someday in the distant future. Now, and the reason this message found you at this exact time is because you have been carrying battles in silence that nobody truly understands. People see your face, they hear your voice, they watch you continue functioning every day, but they do not see the pressure sitting on your chest when you are alone at night. They do not hear the thoughts that keep circling through your mind when the room becomes quiet. They do not understand how tired your spirit has become from pretending to be strong while internally fighting questions you cannot explain to anyone else. You have been trying to survive emotionally while acting like everything is under control. And honestly, there were moments recently where you almost gave up completely, not necessarily on life, but on hope, on believing things could truly change. On believing your effort would finally produce something meaningful. On believing your prayers, your tears, your patience, your sleepless nights actually mattered to anyone beyond yourself. But listen carefully now, you are not unseen, not for a single second. Every moment you thought nobody noticed your pain, it was seen. Every silent breakdown hidden behind fake smiles, it was seen. Every disappointment you swallowed because you were tired of explaining yourself, it was seen. Every night you laid awake replaying conversations, failures, betrayals, missed opportunities, and unanswered questions in your mind. It was seen. Nothing about your suffering has been invisible, and what you are about to hear may completely change the way you understand this season of your life. The delay was never proof that you were abandoned. The resistance was never proof that you were forgotten. In fact, the intensity of the opposition around your life was evidence that something valuable was attached to your future. There are people who collapse the moment difficulty appears, but you kept moving even while exhausted. You kept trying even after disappointment. You kept believing even after multiple doors closed in your face. And heaven noticed that. Do not underestimate the power of surviving seasons that were designed to break you. Because some of the battles you faced recently were never just physical circumstances. Some of them were spiritual attacks against your confidence, your purpose, your identity, your future. Have you noticed the petcan things almost working, then suddenly falling apart, opportunities appearing, then disappearing at the last second, connections becoming confusing for no clear reason, progress slowing down every time you got close to breakthrough? You started questioning yourself. You wondered if you were doing something wrong. You wondered if you missed your chance somewhere in the past. You wondered if maybe life was simply going to remain difficult no matter how hard you tried. But what if the resistance was never random? What if unseen forces have been trying to exhaust you before you reach the next level prepared for your life? Because there are assignments attached to your future that require endurance most people never develop. And endurance is not created in comfort. It is created in survival. Right now, something is shifting around you that you cannot fully see yet. Pressure is breaking, cycles are ending, confusion is losing power, and the strange heaviness you have carried for so long is beginning to lift little by little. This is why your spirit has felt restless lately. This is why certain people suddenly feel distant. This is why old environments no longer fit the person you are becoming. You are entering a different chapter. And not everyone connected to your old season can follow you into your new one. That truth hurts sometimes, because you loved certain people sincerely. You gave chances repeatedly. You stayed loyal longer than most would have. But some people were attached to the version of you that stayed small, uncertain, and emotionally dependent. The moment your spirit started growing, the moment your mindset started changing, the tension began. Not everyone celebrates your evolution. Some people secretly benefit from your self-doubt. But hear this clearly, what is meant for your life cannot be permanently blocked by human opinion, jealousy, rejection, or delay. No closed door has final authority over your destiny. No betrayal has the power to cancel what was created specifically for you. No season of pain lasts forever. And the breakthrough coming into your life now will make certain past disappointments finally make sense. Because there were places you buggered to enter that would have destroyed you. There were relationships you cried over losing that would have poisoned your future. There were opportunities you thought you needed that were far beneath what is now being prepared for you. Sometimes protection feels like punishment while you are living through it. But later, you understand why certain things had to fall apart. You are being prepared for elevation now, not temporary excitement, not shallow success, real transformation. The kind that changes your mind, your finances, your relationships, your confidence, your entire direction in life. And this next season will require discernment, because once favor begins moving visibly around your life, attention follows. People who ignored you suddenly become interested. People who doubted you suddenly become supportive. People who disappeared suddenly return, acting familiar again. Watch carefully who only appears when your life begins improving. Not everyone who claps for your success genuinely loves you. Some people only respect visible results. But the season you are entering will expose intentions clearly. You will begin sensing energy differently. Your spirit will recognize deception faster. Conversations that once felt normal will suddenly feel heavy. And certain people will quietly remove themselves from your life because they can no longer access the old version of you. Do not chase them. Not every ending is a loss. Some endings are deliverance disguised as disappointment. And the reason this message reached you today is because deep inside, despite all the exhaustion, despite all the confusion, despite all the emotional weight you have carried, there is still a part of you refusing to die. A part of you still waiting for confirmation that your story is not over. A part of you still hoping life can shift unexpectedly. That feeling is not foolishness. That feeling is alignment. Because the moment before transformation often looks exactly like destruction, you thought you were falling apart. In reality, you were being separated from an identity that could not enter the next season with you. There are versions of yourself that must die before your future can fully arrive. The fearful version, the constantly doubting version, the version addicted to approval, the version that kept lowering standards just to avoid loneliness. The version that kept begging for love from people who were never capable of giving it correctly. You have outgrown that version now. And even though growth has felt painful, confusing, and lonely at times, it was necessary. Because what is approaching your life cannot be carried by the person you used to be. Listen carefully. The pressure around you was not meaningless. The isolation was not meaningless. The waiting was not meaningless. You were being rebuilt internally while heaven prepared external movement. Most people only understand visible blessings. They celebrate money, they celebrate opportunities, they celebrate recognition. But few people understand the internal reconstruction required before those things can arrive safely. If certain blessings had entered your life 1 year ago, they would have destroyed you emotionally. If certain doors opened too early, your discernment would not have been strong enough to protect what entered through them. If certain people stayed in your life longer, they would have delayed your growth permanently. That is why separation became necessary. That is why confusion intensified. That is why some prayers seemed unanswered, not because you were rejected, because you were being protected from timing that was wrong. And now, the atmosphere around your life is beginning to change. You can feel it, can't you? Something feels different lately. Even if circumstances still look similar externally, internally, something has shifted. Your tolerance for fake energy has decreased. Your spirit has become more sensitive. Certain conversations drain you instantly now. Certain environments feel heavy the second you enter them. And certain people who once had access to your emotions no longer affect you the same way. That is not emotional coldness. That is spiritual maturity developing. You are finally learning the difference between attachment and alignment. Not everyone you love is assigned to walk beside you forever. Some people were lessons. Some were temporary chapters. Some were warnings disguised as relationships. And some only entered your life to reveal wounds you still needed to heal. You blamed yourself for too much. You replayed situations, repeatedly wondering what you could have done differently. But the truth is, some people were committed to misunderstanding you from the beginning. Some people benefited from your insecurity. Some people enjoyed your emotional dependence because it gave them control. And the moment you started healing, they became uncomfortable. Because healed people become harder to manipulate, you are beginning to recognize your value now, slowly, painfully, but genuinely. And once that awareness fully settles into your spirit, your entire life changes, because people can only mistreat you consistently while you are disconnected from your own worth. The moment you truly understand your value, your standards rise automatically, your boundaries strengthen automatically, your tolerance for disrespect disappears automatically. And that shift is happening inside you right now. The next season of your life will not be built on desperation. It will be built on clarity. No more begging to be chosen. No more shrinking yourself to fit environments that suffocate your spirit. No more explaining your worth to people determined not to see it. You have done enough proving. Now it is time for positioning, because opportunities are coming that will not require you to force doors open. The right connections will begin happening naturally. The right conversations will carry unusual favor. The right environments will recognize your value without constant performance. This next chapter will feel different because exhaustion will no longer be your normal state. For too long, you have lived in survival mode, mentally exhausted, emotionally overloaded, spiritually drained, constantly trying to hold yourself together while silently carrying anxiety nobody knew about. But survival is not your final destination. You were not created merely to endure life. You were created to experience expansion. And expansion is approaching now. Watch what begins changing over the next few weeks. Unexpected communication, sudden opportunities, strange reconnections, ideas entering your mind with unusual clarity, moments where confusion suddenly disappears and you know exactly what decision to make. Do not ignore those moments. Pay attention to your instincts now more than ever. Because guidance is increasing around your life. There are things being arranged behind the scenes that you cannot fully see yet, conversations happening without your knowledge, doors preparing to open before you even arrive near them, people mentioning your name in rooms you have never entered, favor moving ahead of you silently. You thought everything depended entirely on your own strength, but there are forces working in your favor right now that logic alone cannot explain. The season of constant blockage is ending. The season of constant emotional heaviness is ending. The season of wondering whether anything will ever change is ending. And when movement fully begins, it will happen faster than you expect. What stayed frozen for years can shift in weeks. What felt impossible can suddenly become normal. One opportunity can change your financial direction completely. One conversation can reconnect what was broken. One decision can alter the next 10 years of your life. Never underestimate how quickly life can transform once alignment begins. This is why the enemy attacked your mind so aggressively. Fear weakens vision, exhaustion weakens confidence, confusion weakens decision-making. And if your spirit becomes tired enough, you start abandoning possibilities that were actually meant for you. That was the real battle, not merely against your circumstances, against your belief. Because the moment a person loses belief entirely, they stop moving toward their future. But despite everything, you are still here, still listening, still searching, still hopping, even if only quietly. And that matters more than you realize, because many people physically survive difficult seasons while spiritually surrendering inside. But something inside you refused to fully die, even during your lowest moments, even during the nights where disappointment sat heavy on your chest, even during the mornings where getting out of bed felt emotionally exhausting. A small part of you kept believing change was possible, that small remaining faith is enough. You do not need perfect faith. You do not need endless confidence. You only need enough willingness to keep moving forward one more step. And right now, your life is approaching a turning point, not a temporary emotional high, a real turning point, the kind where future, you will look back at this season and realize this was the exact moment everything quietly began changing. The pain sharpened you. The betrayal taught you discernment. The waiting built endurance. The loneliness forced self-discovery. None of it was wasted. Even the heartbreak carried instruction. Even the delays carried preparation. Even the closed doors carried protection. One day you will thank life for refusing to give you certain things too early, because now you are becoming capable of sustaining what is finally approaching you, and what is approaching you now is bigger than what left. The mistake you kept making was believing loss automatically meant failure. It does not. Sometimes life removes people, environments, habits, and attachments because they cannot survive where you are being taken next. And when those things leave, it feels painful at first because humans naturally grieve familiarity, even when familiarity was damaging them. But hear this carefully. You were never meant to stay trapped in cycles that kept shrinking your spirit. You were never meant to spend your entire life begging for crumbs from people incapable of recognizing your value. You were never meant to carry constant anxiety as if suffering was your permanent identity. Something greater has been calling your name for a long time now. That is why ordinary living stopped satisfying you. That is why your soul has felt restless. That is why deep inside, you always felt there had to be more than endless struggle, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion, because there is more. Far more. The life waiting for you on the other side of this transformation will not even resemble the person you used to be. Your mindset is changing, your standards are changing, your energy is changing, even your presence is changing. People can feel it before you fully understand it yourself. That quiet power developing inside you, that is what happens when pain stops destroying someone and starts awakening them. You are becoming harder to intimidate now, harder to manipulate, harder to emotionally control, not because your heart became cold, but because your awareness increased. You finally understand that protecting your peace is not selfish, it is necessary. And one of the biggest shifts happening inside you right now is this: you are no longer willing to abandon yourself just to keep others comfortable. That changes everything. Because the moment a person reconnects with their own worth, life begins reorganizing around them differently, new opportunities appear. New people enter, new confidence develops, new vision awakens. And suddenly the same person who once tolerated disrespect begins walking away from environments that drain them without apology. That is growth, real growth, not motivational quotes, not temporary inspiration, internal transformation. The kind nobody notices immediately until your entire reality starts changing. You have underestimated how powerful you actually are, not arrogance. Power, there is a difference. Arrogance needs constant validation. Power remains calm. Arrogance performs loudly. Power moves quietly. Arrogance chases attention. Power attracts respect naturally. And your spirit is entering a season where calm confidence will replace emotional desperation. No more constantly over-explaining yourself. No more chasing closure from people committed to misunderstanding you. No more exhausting yourself trying to force outcomes that are not aligned. What belongs to you will begin arriving with less struggle. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because your alignment is improving. For too long you operated from fear, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. And fear creates terrible decisions. It makes people settle for less than they deserve. It makes them cling to unhealthy attachments. It makes them betray their own instincts. But you are waking up now, and once awareness awakens, your old life becomes impossible to return to comfortably. That is why some relationships feel strange lately. Your energy no longer matches environments built around survival, gossip, negativity, jealousy, or emotional chaos. Your soul wants peace now, real peace, not temporary distraction. And peace changes people, it sharpens discernment, it increases clarity, it restores confidence, it allows intuition to speak louder than fear. The next phase of your life will require that clarity. Because major opportunities are approaching, do not minimize that statement. Major opportunities, there are doors preparing to open that could alter your entire future financially, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Things you stopped expecting may suddenly return differently. Situations that looked dead may unexpectedly revive. Paths that seemed blocked permanently may reopen with surprising ease. And when it happens, you will realize how much of your suffering came from trying to control timing that was never yours to control. Some things cannot be forced. Some blessings only arrive when your spirit is capable of carrying them responsibly. That is why this season shaped you so aggressively. Life was preparing your mind for expansion, because expansion without wisdom destroys people. Look around carefully. You have already seen examples of this. People receiving success they were emotionally unprepared for. People receiving money without discipline, attention without maturity, influence without character. And eventually those blessings became destruction. That will not be your story. You were refined through pressure first. That refinement matters. Everything you survived built emotional muscle most people never develop. Now when success enters your life, you will appreciate it differently. When peace enters your life, you will protect it differently. When genuine love enters your life, you will recognize it instead of confusing it with manipulation. Your suffering taught you discernment, and discernment will save you in the next season. Because not everyone celebrating your rise will genuinely support you. Some people only love access, some only love convenience, some only appear when your value becomes visible publicly. Pay attention. Energy never lies for long. Your spirit already knows who feels genuine and who feels performative. Trust that instinct more. You ignored your intuition too many times in the past, trying to give people endless chances. And every time you betrayed your own instincts, pain followed. But you are learning now, slowly but deeply. The future opening in front of you requires emotional intelligence, spiritual awareness, and self-respect. And those qualities are finally developing inside you. This next chapter will not be built on proving yourself. It will be built on becoming yourself fully. No masks. No performance, no desperation, just alignment. And once alignment truly begins, life starts moving differently, unexpected favor appears, the right people recognize you naturally, opportunities begin finding you instead of constantly escaping you, peace replaces confusion, confidence replaces fear, direction replaces chaos. This is why your old season had to end. You were never meant to remain the version of yourself created through pain. You were meant to become the version rebuilt through wisdom. And the shift has already started. Even now, while listening to this, something inside you recognizes the truth of it. You can feel it. The chapter of constant heaviness is closing. The chapter of endless confusion is closing. The chapter where you doubted your own worth is closing. And a new version of your life is beginning to emerge from the ruins of everything that tried to destroy you. One day people will look at your life and call it luck. They will not see the nights you survived silently. They will not see the emotional battles you fought privately. They will not see the moments you almost broke completely, but somehow kept moving anyway. But you will remember how close you came to giving up. And you will remember that the moment everything began changing was the moment you finally stopped doubting the power inside yourself. There's something you need to understand before this next chapter fully opens. Not everybody who disappeared from your life was a loss. Some exits were answers, some separations were protection, some delays were mercy hidden inside frustration. You spent too much time mourning things that were actually removing poison from your future. And because your heart was genuine, you kept trying to repair connections that were already draining your spirit dry. You kept giving chances to people who only returned when they needed something from you. You kept shrinking your intuition to avoid accepting uncomfortable truths. But truth does not disappear simply because it hurts, and your spirit has become too awake now to continue pretending certain things do not affect you. You know exactly which environments leave you emotionally exhausted. You know exactly which conversations disturb your peace. You know exactly which people smile in front of you while secretly competing with you internally. Your awareness has increased. That is why isolation became necessary for a while. You thought you were being abandoned. In reality, your vision was being cleared, because constant noise makes discernment difficult. And for a long time, your life was filled with noise, too many opinions, too many distractions, too many emotional attachments, too many people influencing your decisions. But now you are learning how to hear yourself again. You are learning how to trust your own instincts again. You are learning how to move without constantly needing approval from others first. That is freedom, real freedom. And freedom terrifies people who benefited from your insecurity. Do not be surprised if certain individuals become uncomfortable as your confidence grows. Your healing exposes unhealthy dynamics automatically. The stronger your boundaries become, the more manipulative people reveal themselves, because people who respected you genuinely will adjust naturally. Only those who benefited from your lack of boundaries become angry when access changes. Remember that. Not everybody deserves unlimited access to your energy. Not everybody deserves explanations. Not everybody deserves another chance. And maturity is understanding the difference between compassion and self-destruction. You can love people while refusing to let them continue damaging your peace. You can forgive people while still creating distance. You can wish people well without reopening doors that nearly broke you emotionally. That lesson alone will change your entire future. Because one of the reasons your spirit became so exhausted was this: you were carrying emotional weight that never belonged to you, trying to save everyone, trying to fix everyone, trying to understand everyone, trying to be available for everyone. Meanwhile, nobody noticed how tired you were becoming. Nobody noticed how much pressure you carried silently. Nobody noticed how often you sacrificed your own peace just to keep others comfortable. But those days are ending now. This next version of you understands balance, understands self-respect, understands energy. And once you truly protect your peace, your entire reality begins improving, your thinking becomes clearer, your emotions stabilize, your confidence strengthens, your opportunities increase. Because chaos drains creative energy, peace multiplies it. That is why your next season will feel so different. You are no longer operating from survival. You are moving toward alignment. And alignment changes everything. The relationships feel different. The opportunities feel different. Even your body begins responding differently when your spirit enters peace. For so long, stress became normal for you. Overthinking became normal. Emotional heaviness became normal. You forgot what inner calm even felt like. But your soul was never designed to live permanently in anxiety. You adapted to pressure because you had no choice. Now healing is teaching you another way to live, a slower way, a clearer way, a more intentional way. And the more you reconnect with yourself, the more life begins opening around you naturally. You will notice this soon, conversations flowing easier, ideas arriving clearer, energy returning gradually, motivation increasing again. The version of you that disappeared under stress is returning, except now stronger, wiser, more aware, less naive, and far harder to break. The pain changed you, but it did not destroy you. That matters, because many people allow suffering to turn them bitter permanently. But despite everything you survived, your heart still carries hope, maybe quieter than before, maybe more cautious than before, but still alive. That is your strength. Never lose that. A soft heart with strong boundaries is one of the rarest forms of power a person can develop, and that balance is forming inside you now. You are learning that kindness does not require self-betrayal. You are learning that loyalty should not cost your mental health. You are learning that love without respect eventually becomes emotional exhaustion. Those realizations are preparing you for better experiences ahead, because the future entering your life now will demand a healthier version of you, healthier emotionally, healthier mentally, healthier spiritually. And for the first time in a long time, you are finally becoming ready to receive without sabotaging it, ready to trust yourself again. Ready to stop settling for environments beneath your worth, ready to stop apologizing for growing. The next opportunities coming toward your life are not random. They are connected to the version of you being built right now. That is why this season felt so intense. Transformation always feels uncomfortable while it is happening. The caterpillar probably thinks the cocoon is destruction, but destruction was never the purpose. Transformation was, and your transformation is no longer theoretical. It is already happening. Look at yourself honestly. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Your awareness changed, your standards changed, your emotional tolerance changed, your priorities changed, even your loneliness changed. Before, loneliness made you chase unhealthy connection. Now loneliness teaches you discernment. That is growth, and growth always separates people. Because once you begin valuing peace, clarity, purpose, and self-respect, you naturally outgrow chaos. You naturally outgrow fake relationships. You naturally outgrow environments that once felt familiar. Do not fear that transition. It is necessary, because what is waiting for you next requires space. Space mentally, space emotionally, space spiritually. And life has been clearing that space little by little, even through painful endings, even through unexpected disappointments, even through delays you did not understand at the time. Nothing was random. Everything shaped you. Everything prepared you. Everything strengthened something inside you that will become essential in the season approaching now. And when that season fully arrives, you will finally understand why you had to survive everything you survived. Because the version of you entering this next chapter cannot think the way you used to think, cannot love the way you used to love, cannot tolerate the things you once tolerated. You have crossed an invisible line emotionally, even if nobody around you fully realizes it yet. There are conversations you can no longer entertain, patterns you can no longer ignore, environments your spirit immediately rejects now. And that shift is important because your future depends on discernment more than desperation. For too long, desperation controlled your decisions, desperation for acceptance, desperation for stability, desperation for love, desperation to finally feel chosen, and desperation attracts painful lessons. Because when people fear being alone, they often attach themselves to situations that slowly destroy them. But isolation taught you something valuable. It taught you how to survive your own company. It taught you how to sit with yourself, how to face your wounds, how to recognize the difference between loneliness and alignment. And now that you are reconnecting with your own value, your entire energy is beginning to change. You are becoming more selective, more intentional, more aware of what truly deserves access to your life. That is not arrogance. That is wisdom earned through pain. You paid for that wisdom emotionally, with sleepless nights, with betrayal, with disappointment, with silence, with confusion, with moments where your chest felt heavy from carrying emotions nobody else could see. But none of that suffering was meaningless. Every painful experience revealed something important: who genuinely cared, who secretly envied you, who only loved convenience, who disappeared the moment you stopped overextending yourself. Pain exposes reality faster than comfort ever will. And reality changed you. You see people differently now. You hear hidden intentions faster now. You notice energy shifts immediately now. That sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness. For a long time, you ignored your intuition because you wanted to believe the best in everyone. But intuition exists for protection. And your spirit has been trying to warn you about certain people, places, and situations for a very long time. Now you are finally listening. That changes everything. Because once a person begins trusting themselves again, manipulation loses power, fear loses power, confusion loses power. The next season entering your life will reward clarity, not performance. Not pretending, clarity, clear intentions, clear boundaries, clear direction, clear self-respect. That is why your old life had to collapse piece by piece, because anything built on insecurity eventually becomes unstable. And deep down, you knew certain things in your life were unstable for a long time. You just feared what would happen if you finally let them go. But now you understand, holding on to broken things does not preserve your peace. It destroys it slowly. And peace has become more valuable to you than attachment. That is maturity. There was a time when you chased intensity because you confused chaos with connection. Now your soul craves consistency, honesty, calmness, truth. You are no longer impressed by loud promises. You pay attention to actions now, energy now, patterns now, because experience taught you that words can lie while behavior reveals everything. That lesson will protect your future relationships more than you realize. Not just romantic relationships, friendships, business partnerships, opportunities, everything. Discernment is becoming one of your greatest strengths now. And the people entering your life next will feel different because you are different. You will stop forcing connections that require constant emotional labor. You will stop begging for understanding from people committed to misunderstanding you. You will stop shrinking your spirit to remain acceptable to insecure environments. Instead, you will naturally align with people who recognize your value without needing endless explanation. That shift is already beginning. Notice how certain people are drifting away lately. Notice how certain conversations feel empty now. Notice how your tolerance for superficiality keeps decreasing. Your spirit is evolving. And evolution always creates separation before expansion. That part feels lonely sometimes, because growth often removes familiarity before introducing alignment. But do not mistake temporary loneliness for failure. Some of the greatest transformations happen in private first, quietly, without applause, without recognition, without anybody understanding what is changing inside you. Then suddenly one day your entire life looks different. That is the season approaching now, the rebuilding season, the restoration season, the season where things finally begin making sense. Not everything at once, but enough for your faith to return, enough for your confidence to breathe again. Enough for your spirit to stop feeling trapped in survival mode constantly, because you were never meant to remain emotionally exhausted forever. You adapted to pressure because life demanded it. But pressure is not your identity. Pain is not your identity. Struggle is not your identity. Those were seasons, not your destiny. And one of the biggest lies you almost believed was that your best days were already behind you. No, some of the greatest moments of your life have not even happened yet. Some of the deepest love you will experience has not arrived yet. Some of the opportunities connected to your purpose have not appeared yet. Some of the peace your soul has been craving is still ahead of you. That matters, because hopeless people stop preparing for the future. But your spirit keeps pushing forward because somewhere deep inside, you still believe something greater is possible for your life. Hold on to that. Protect that belief carefully. The world tries hard to destroy hopeful people. Disappointment tries hard to harden hearts permanently. But despite everything you survived, your heart still wants to believe again. That is strength, not weakness. Never confuse softness with fragility. Some of the strongest people in the world are those who survived brutal seasons without allowing darkness to completely poison their spirit. And you are one of them, even if you do not fully realize it yet. The future unfolding around your life now is being shaped by every lesson you survived in silence. The betrayal sharpened your discernment. The loneliness strengthened your independence. The disappointment deepened your wisdom. The delays developed your patience. Everything built something inside you. And soon you are going to see why none of it was wasted. One day you will look back at this period of your life and realize something that seems impossible to understand right now. The breakdown was part of the breakthrough. The confusion was part of the awakening. The endings were part of the redirection. At the time, it only felt painful. At the time, it only felt unfair. At the time, all you could see was what was leaving your life, not what was trying to enter it. But now your vision is changing. You are beginning to understand that every closed door created space for a better one. Every betrayal revealed truth. Every disappointment exposed illusions you were emotionally attached to. And illusions are dangerous because they keep people loyal to things that are destroying them. You almost stayed in places that were draining your spirit permanently. You almost kept settling for less because pain had become familiar. You almost convinced yourself that survival was the same thing as living. But something inside you kept resisting that outcome. That quiet voice deep inside you kept whispering that your life was meant for more than endless emotional exhaustion. And that voice was right. You are entering a season where your external reality will finally begin matching the internal growth you developed privately. That matters, because for a long time, nobody saw your growth. They only saw your struggles. They saw the moments you broke down, the moments you disappeared emotionally, the moments you became quiet, the moments you pulled away from everyone trying to understand what was happening inside yourself. But they did not see the rebuilding process. They did not see how much wisdom you gained from suffering. They did not see how much stronger your mind became after every painful experience you survived. They did not see the resilience forming inside you slowly. Yet it was happening every single day, and now life is preparing to reveal externally what was built internally. This is why you must stop doubting yourself. You survived things that should have destroyed your confidence completely. Yet somehow you are still here, still trying, still healing. Still becoming. That alone proves there is something powerful inside you, because weak spirits collapse permanently under pressure. But pressure revealed your strength instead. Even when you cried, even when you felt lost, even when you questioned everything, you kept moving, and movement matters more than perfection ever will. Many people wait to feel fully confident before changing their lives. That day rarely comes. Transformation happens while people are still afraid, still uncertain, still healing. And despite all your fears, you continued evolving anyway. That is courage, not the absence of fear, movement despite fear. Remember that you have spent too much time underestimating yourself because you compared your journey to people who were never fighting the same battles. Some people were handed emotional stability you had to build from scratch. Some people were raised in environments that strengthened their confidence, while you survived environments that damaged yours. Some people moved through life supported, while you learned how to survive disappointment repeatedly. Stop comparing timelines. Different struggles create different paths, and your path developed depth inside you that surface-level success could never create. One day people will admire your strength without realizing how much pain created it. They will admire your calmness without knowing how much chaos you survived internally. They will admire your wisdom without understanding how many nights suffering taught you lessons nobody else could explain. But you will know, and that knowledge will keep you humble, because your future success will not be built on ego. It will be built on endurance, on awareness, on emotional intelligence, on lessons paid for through experience. That foundation is strong, far stronger than temporary confidence built only through comfort. This is also why your future relationships will feel different. You no longer crave shallow attention. You crave depth, honesty, consistency, peace. You are becoming emotionally mature enough to recognize the difference between excitement and alignment. Excitement is temporary, alignment brings peace. And peace is becoming one of the most important things in your life now. Protect it. Not everyone deserves access to your calm energy. Not everyone deserves unlimited explanations. Not everyone deserves repeated opportunities to wound you emotionally. You can love people while still protecting yourself from them. That lesson will save you repeatedly in the future. Because your heart is naturally generous. You naturally try to understand people deeply. You naturally give chances. But generosity without boundaries becomes self-destruction eventually. Now you are learning balance. And balance changes lives. You will notice it soon in small ways first. Less anxiety, clearer thinking, better decisions, improved energy, more emotional control. Healthier relationships. And eventually those small shifts create massive transformation over time. The old version of you reacted emotionally to everything. The new version pauses first, observes first, discerns first. That growth alone will prevent countless future mistakes. And honestly, some people will not like this new version of you. People who benefited from your insecurity preferred the old version, the over-explaining version, the people-pleasing version. The version that tolerated disrespect because it feared abandonment. But that version is disappearing now. And although growth feels lonely at times, never apologize for evolving. Never apologize for protecting your peace. Never apologize for refusing to return to environments that nearly destroyed your spirit. You fought too hard to heal just to abandon yourself again. The future requires a stronger you, a wiser you, a calmer you. And every painful season you survived was preparing that version little by little. Nothing was random, nothing was wasted. Even your darkest moments carried hidden purpose, especially those moments, because some transformations can only happen in darkness. And your transformation is almost complete. You did not survive everything you survived just to remain the same. Read that again in your spirit. You did not cry those tears, fight those silent battles, walk through those lonely nights. Carry that pressure on your chest just to end up stuck in the exact same place forever. No, this was preparation, painful preparation, slow preparation, invisible preparation, but preparation nonetheless. And now the shift is happening, not someday, not eventually. Now the old cycle is breaking. The version of you that constantly doubted yourself is fading away. The version that tolerated disrespect because you feared losing people is disappearing. The version that kept begging life for permission to feel worthy is dying. And in its place, something stronger is rising, something calmer, something wiser, something unshakable. You are finally beginning to realize that your value was never dependent on who stayed, who left, who chose you, or who rejected you. Your value existed before their opinion ever touched your life. That realization changes everything. Because once a person truly understands their worth, they stop chasing what drains them. They stop begging for crumbs, they stop shrinking themselves for temporary acceptance, and they begin walking differently, thinking differently, choosing differently. That transformation is already happening inside you, even now, especially now. This is why certain doors had to close. This is why certain people had to disappear. This is why life forced you into isolation sometimes. You needed to hear your own soul again beneath all the noise, and now you can. Now you finally understand that peace is more valuable than attention. Alignment is more valuable than approval. Truth is more valuable than comfort. And the life waiting for you after this chapter ends will reflect that understanding. The next season of your life will not look like survival. It will look like alignment, real opportunities, real peace, real confidence, real love, real purpose, not fake excitement that disappears overnight, not temporary validation from people who secretly envy you. Something deeper, something stable, something genuine. And when it arrives, you will finally understand why everything before it had to fall apart. You will understand why delays happened, why betrayals happened, why certain prayers were not answered immediately, because your spirit needed strengthening before your future could safely enter your hands. Now look at yourself honestly. You are still here, after everything, after the heartbreak, after the confusion, after the exhaustion. After the moments you secretly thought about giving up completely, you are still here. That means your story is not finished, not even close. In fact, some of the most powerful chapters of your life have not even started yet. The peace you prayed for still exists. The breakthrough you almost stopped believing in still exists. The future version of yourself you imagined during your darkest nights still exists. And step by step, you are becoming that person now. So stop speaking over your life like defeat is permanent. Stop treating temporary pain like eternal destiny. Stop assuming closed doors mean the journey is over. Sometimes life removes everything unstable so your real foundation can finally be built. That is what has been happening to you. You were not being destroyed, you were being rebuilt. And rebuilt people move differently. They trust their instincts more, protect their peace more, value themselves more, love themselves more. And because of that, life begins responding to them differently. This is your turning point. The moment you stop identifying with the pain and start identifying with the strength the pain created inside you. The moment you stop mourning who left and start appreciating who you became after they did. The moment you stop asking why everything happened to you and start understanding what everything built within you. Because everything changed you, the pressure changed you, the waiting changed you, the loneliness changed you, the heartbreak changed you. And now you are ready for the life that once felt impossible. Ready for the peace your soul kept searching for, ready for opportunities your old mindset could not sustain, ready for the version of yourself hidden beneath all the fear, survival, and emotional exhaustion. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your transformation. If this message reached your soul at the exact moment you needed it, leave a like on this video and write in the comments, "I survived the storm for a reason." Remember this carefully before you leave. The same life that nearly broke you is about to reveal why you had to become this strong. SUBCONYX void.